harder than ever to retain the championship.
CAG with a lot of pressure on their shoulders. If there was anyone who expected CAG not to take the back-to-back championship, it would have been people who were Guts fans and Guts believers. But Guts have been eliminated a long time ago. It's USG who stepped up to the plate. Once again, banning that Monsane, forcing Anderson to play the rifle, forcing him off the shields. Anderson does pretty well on the Ying anyway, and on various other roles. So typically wouldn't expect that. Oh my god. The Nook ban, I guess, is going to be a Valkyrie and Melusi ban to round it off then. Like Cyclops get rid of the Valk, Donuts, USG get rid of the Melusi. Can I see the future?
I think you're probably going to be right. I'm just going to input it now into the tracker.
Good, I like that. What do we think about these bans though? Like, I mean, CAG banning this Nook, but did it really seem to have much of an impact on USG? If anything, I feel like it just made USG throw less. Like, you know, it made them...
I think it actually forced them to play a little bit smarter, right? So
I think it was better, yeah.
Maybe that's not what you want. That said, I guess there are some strange parallels between Chalet and Villa. The basement is very, very much conducive to a lot of flanks and lurks and whatnot from the attack, for example. So it's not the worst of bans. And I guess if Cyclops just have nothing better that they really want to ban off the board, then go ahead, go ham, right? I mean, thinking back to the last map, was there really an attacker that was super, super potent for USG? I feel like it was honestly just util play. And it's not like you can ban every operator that has nades, for example, so...
100%. I think, yeah, everything from the nades to the ace Selmas. There's no specific operator you could ban if you're CAG to try and slow down USG. I think USG have certainly established themselves as a strong team on Chalet. Can they back it up on Villa? We'll have to wait and find out. Last time these guys played Villa, it was in the quarterfinals. They lost 8-7 to Blue Bees, but only a couple weeks before in the group stage, they beat Reject 7-2 and 7-4 on this map. 7-4, the same scoreline Cyclops achieved yesterday over Zepto in the semi-finals. Of course, this being Cyclops' map pick, we would expect them to play well. We would expect them to bring the fire, but I think that USG, after winning map 1, would have an extra level of confidence that could perhaps elevate their gameplay to the next level.
Did Anakin 6-pick off Habana onto Jackal? Am I remembering that correctly?
I will rewind the stream and have a look.
Objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Yes, that's exactly the case.
Yeah, right. So no dedicated hard breach here for Cyclops. Jump out!
On your Black Ray, Pero just absolutely loves going for this. You can see he's watching the 90 window again because he's got a feeling someone else is going to try and run out.
I don't think I've seen a man cower and spawn like that ever. Apparently playing Black Ray. Did give his team the advantage though, so a good start here for Cyclops. USG, much like Chalet, I feel like when they just overstep their bounds a little bit too much on this aggression and do really, really silly things, it's what it was costing them rounds at the start of Chalet, and then they sort of reeled it in and it started to work out nicely for them. So I don't know why they started off Villa in the same vein, but nonetheless, E1D's popping. Anderson looking to push Red stairs low on HP. DD's in a good position to get this kill, but can't hit the elbow. Misses on multiple occasions, and now it needs to be very, very careful he doesn't get pinched from elsewhere.
Oh, come on, Anderson. Don't lose this. You've got the scan. DD surely wins it. Anderson! 100 to 0 is DD. All DD needed to do was land one shot, but Anderson can't believe he landed that. Made it work. And now Cyclops have a 2-man advantage. Story's not over just yet, though. Look at USG's setup. They have traps galore. Ban out the Melusi, play Ella, Capcan, and Frost. It's like having a whole other 2 players on the board with those ops up. And all that util just waiting to catch people off guard.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Minute 15 left in this round, however. Capcan is well in play, so those EDDs might be able to find some damage, but at this point in time, probably not enough to necessarily be overly impactful. Caillou in sight. 9 mil in hand, seeing what he can see. Kawa wants to get aggressive, you can tell.
Attackers have dropped the bomb
Gas
diffuser.
canister on his
Attackers
position,
recovered
so
the
he
bomb
needs to be
diffuser.
very, very careful that he coordinates that properly with the smoke, otherwise he's going to be flushed out himself. A Jackal, Ping giving away his position. Aggressors, Aniton though, ready and waiting. Probably one of the easiest kills he's going to get tonight. USG in a 2-on-5 now.
That Jackal pick proving so strong. That said, Aniton finally finished off. He was low HP. Still, there's a shield for each of these defenders to hide behind in these positions. Black Ray, though, lands the shot as Gatorada dispatches the other USG player. It's been a little while since Cyclops have felt the cheers, have felt the success, but they do get that round win.
Yeah, it was good work there from Cyclops. Great attention being shown there, particularly at the start there from Black Ray to shut down that jump out, which is one that, I mean, even in ranked, you're going to very, very rarely see. It's never mind in comp. So the fact that he was ready and waiting for that shows that obviously Cyclops have prepared themselves well for this opponent. From there, DD unfortunately as well taken down, and it's really probably shouldn't have been going for that fight solo, but he did get away with it, and of course, from that point onwards, a 5v3 for Cyclops. They checked out their opponents, USG, forced to send it, try and find something in return.
Protect your bombs
Obviously
from
not
being
percentage
defused by
plate,
attackers.
unable to bring it back. And they'll see them rotate over towards that trophy.
Mirror being up, let's see what USG can achieve with that. A lot of ways you can counter the mirror window. One of them would be with hard breach, but not brought here by CAG once again. Anderson picking the Jackal, like you said. I think it's actually a really good pick. I feel like the Jackal is just so strong. The amount of info that you can get, the amount of pressure you can put on USG. And over the course of a couple rounds, if that Jackal keeps staying there, if USG keep feeling those tracks, they'll probably start playing more inside their own shell, start playing more passive.
Will we see untamed aggression once more here from USG? It was their downfall in the first round of Chalet, and it was the downfall in the first round here on Villa. Doesn't look like we're going to see anything too crazy so far. Maybe a minimal extension down below here. It looks like DD might be keen to try and hold red stairs for a little bit, but outside of that, not all that much. Black Ray getting entry droned here down below. Sheets pinged. I don't know exactly what that is for, as it appears to be clear. DD is inside of Piano, though. Could find a pick. He's very attentive. Pre-fires. Doesn't quite inflict enough damage to drop Aniton, but it should be enough to scare him off.
Opening pick for Kawau. Ayagator goes down an aggressive peek. Exactly what we were looking for here. But Black Ray downstairs, CAG looking to counter this mirror window through the vert. This nade may even find Kawau if, no, okay, he's walked away, but the nade will open up that line of sight to potentially take down the mirror window. Black Ray might lose his life before doing so. Okay, he's taken down one mirror window. DD doesn't realize that his crosshair is literally directly over Black Ray's head through a wall.
You must be running wall hacks, man. So hacking.
I don't think I actually did pop the gas canister on the mirror window, as I think
He
Aniton was
popped one
actually
of
just
them.
finishing that. I don't know what Aniton's doing there. Maybe just getting vert on a player. I don't know.
Attackers dropped the
Unless
diffuser.
they didn't double mirror it that well
Recovered the
on
bomb
triple, did they? I
diffuser.
don't know. Either way, DD.
So-
Stalemate down below, droned out. Black Ray now aware. Again, he was in that mud position, so he's probably going to act upon that intel just off himself, go for the solo peek. Attempts that, but doesn't quite find the pick. Aggressors forward.
Oh,
Black Ray just walked straight past the door. DD lets him past.
and Black Ray is going to get spotted. They're going to know exactly where he is. DD wants to make this work. Black Ray is very cautious of that position. The Cyclops start to encroach upon this site. They don't have a proper entry. Oh, the one tap! Gatorada double! Oh my goodness! 2 left now for USG, and CAG have taken control of the site. Black Ray for another one. It's just Renzo left, and he is absolutely hopeless. 4v5 to 4v nothing.
Yeah, once again from Cyclops, doing a good job in getting these entries. Unfortunately, DD not supplying enough perceived pressure there at the bottom of Astro's stairs. Had he have dropped Black Ray and not allowed, that sort of to kickstart the pressure on site, could have been a very, very different story, I think. But nonetheless, that's the way it played out. Unfortunately, USG unable to trade amidst all of that chaos that was ensuing. So it's very reminiscent, I think, at the moment of Chalet, right? It was kind of at this point in the last map when Cyclops was starting to amass rounds, we were getting very, very concerned, and then out of nowhere, USG bounced back. So just going to reserve myself for now. I can't help but feel that, again, being a Cyclops map pick, this momentum should continue to steamroll, but it only does take one big round from USG to bounce back. Whether it be a big solo play or some controlled aggression, which isn't characteristic of them for the most part, and then we could see them bounce back.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's happened last map. CAG got off to a strong start and USG fought back, so I don't want to get too excited for CAG just yet, knowing that we've underestimated USG before. On for a row now. Once again, they just love these traps. Like, even when the L is not picked and the Frost isn't picked, we've got Capcan once again. We've got the Legion mines, the Goo mines from Ren. I wonder how effective the bulletproof on the Rooney and the Evil Eyes from the Maestro will be, though. I guess it does make it more difficult for CAG to just kind of hard pressure site. More likely to have to go for this roam clear, but I think that's the right choice. Go for the roam clear, get some vert going. See if they can convert to an execute from there.
Yeah, I will say though, if they're going for vert, a little bit concerning that they're not bringing either a Nomad or, a Sledge or a Buck, as it does limit their options a little bit. They do have breaching charges on those, so I guess that does make things a little bit less precarious, but either way, an interesting storyline obviously developing throughout this round. It doesn't look like USG are extensively holding up above, so Gatorada will drone ahead, probably call out quite soon that it is cleared. Now there are visual signals that are disrupting these drones, so I don't know exactly where that said visual is, but I think, yeah, it's on site. So not too much to worry here, that's Perel just holding down the line over towards Laundry. I honestly think that Kawau might be the only big roamer here, and he's there from basement.
Oh, this is going to come down to timing. How many times have we seen just timing play such a huge role in these flanks and flank watch? Anderson's actually going to fall off, so that does give Kawau a little bit more freedom.
Attackers have recovered their
What's the play here as the E1D rings out? Oh my god, how does Pero peek into that and win that? I have absolutely no clue. Holding down the lines, still apparently not enough even on land for Gatorada. Now Cyclops find themselves fighting from a man deficit. Here comes the vert that you mentioned, but only Anderson with the breaching charges.
Black Ray finds a trade, but traded himself. Now the retake for USG, potentially on up above here if they want that control. Anderson is ready and waiting as he is also trying to again establish this vertical control. Gator drops down elsewhere. It's fallen apart here a little bit for Cyclops. Some great picks, some great mechanical play from USD to deny these entries, and the round should be theirs.
Not given any opportunity, Cyclops, to find a 1v1 back. And Pero is playing so aggressively. That glass breaking would have made a hell of a lot of noise, but I don't think anyone was aware. The Legion player of Rento also has gotten... Oh, wait a second. Suzu faked out a plan. Alright, this is a bit all over the shop.
I don't even know if anyone's in range to hear it, but okay, here's the rotation coming through. 1v4, Suzu does find the trade, but yeah, eventually taken down. Well played by USG, able to close out round number 3. They finally get something on the board, and this could be the start of something big.
It's a huge round from Pero as well. Started off with that ridiculous peeking into the spray from Gatorada headshot, and then managed to find 2 more following through. As we look at CAG, 1 map down, still 1 round ahead here on Villa. Not nearly as dominant as we would hope for them to be able to reclaim their crown. They managed to get it in the Japan Championship 2020. That's almost like bare minimum at the moment for CAG. I know there were some people expecting that maybe there's a chance for an upset. Maybe there's a chance that we will crown a new Japan champion. No one would have thought it would be USG. Everyone was looking at teams like Guts and Fav, even maybe Sengoku, after a fantastic run in the Japan League. No one would have thought it would be a team like USG, not even in the Japan League.
Could that round be the start of something big? That's the question that keeps recurring in my mind at the moment. Can't shake the thought that I've seen stranger things happen before. So CYCLOPS, their opportunity now to sort of steady the ship a bit. Don't allow that round to blow into something or blow up into something a little bit bigger here. They are able to find some safety if it was AVG. They won that previously, of course. So they did only lose the tertiary site here, and I think that is a promising sign we can lean on here for CYCLOPS. They did unfortunately lose Kitchen, however, so it could compromise them at the back end of the half. Just something we'll have to wait and see. Capcan is interesting. Has obviously snuck his way into the meta a little bit at the moment, not only here in RJC, but I assume more globally he's probably going to see some playtime, particularly in APAC, because he does counter a lot of that untamed aggression, and now the fact that you can stack those EDDs on a singular doorway or a window, up to however many you want at a time, you could probably find a way to fit every single device on a single door if you really want to.
I have done it. I have. Yeah. You can take my word for it, mate. You can chuck 5 of those bad boys on there.
I don't know why you would really want to do that.
No. For the style points. Oh. Okay, first pick once again for USG. It's an aggressive play inside study. This is just so classic, isn't it? USG really are in such a good position.
Hello?
That's a second one. Gatorada not expecting the aggression. Finally a trade. That proximity alarm is going to keep on beeping away. Unless Fagetter can shoot it off. Still hasn't done so yet. There's a guy aggro in study. Carwow surely gets punished by Airgator here, but he's going to play passive. He knows.
Saw the gun.
Saw the side of the barrel. Still, USG need to make sure that they support their teammate here. Airgator is all alone and potentially vulnerable.
This is getting really awkward here for CYCLOPS. They're still failing to clear out the position. They have the hatch drop covered, and that's Blackray over towards the front door, but someone needs to finally dislodge him, and as you can see, those positions being held in sight. Fortunately, Blackray does win that key engagement, brings it back to a 3 versus 3.
Still aggression from USG. They're not giving up yet. Oh, that nade. Did a bit of damage, but not enough. A retake of study once again is punished, but that's a very narrow angle by Pero, who's been on fire in this game. 2-on-2. CAG with a very real chance. This nade is absolutely terrible. That is shocking for Blackray. Pero to get the final one. Last for USG, but CYCLOPS have no one to blame but themselves.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh wow. There were genuinely there were about 3 big mistakes we saw in that round. The first was it Gatorada? I think Gatorada was the one that stormed downstairs right at the start, Dev. I think.
It was Anderson, the first one to die.
Oh, it was Anderson. Okay, so Anderson just sent it up. That was really strange, ill-advised. He got taken down. Sure, it was traded, but again, not a great start.
Oh, then actually, I think Anderson was the one who died on the study balcony. He was the first death, but I think that was study balc.
Okay, right. Then you had the study hatch debacle, where who was it?
It was Carwow playing on the
Carwow,
hatch,
yeah, that's right. Like, Carwow was just chilling, vibing out. CYCLOPS eventually dislodged him, but it took so much time and a bit of utility and whatnot. Very awkward. And then at the very end, Blackray just poof, disintegrates himself with a grenade. So basically everything that could have gone wrong there for CYCLOPS, it kind of felt like it did. It was a domino effect throughout that round, and USG were just kind of just sitting there capitalizing.
I mean, I'm telling you right now, Blackray knows how many seconds it takes for that nade to blow up. Like, no one is questioning his competency, but it's about when you're on that big stage, when you're the defending champion, when you've just lost map 1, there is a lot of expectation on you. There is a lot of pressure on you And not only is he already feeling that pressure in the chaos of the moment, and yes, let's acknowledge every round in the Japan Championship has been chaos. There is so much pressure on you. Like, I think, you know, it's like even the I'm trying to think of like an allegory. Like even Djokovic will every now and then double fault on a serve. You know, even Usain Bolt will sometimes trip over while starting his sprint. Even the best in the world will sometimes mess up. And when there's pressure on you, when you don't have that mental conditioning, that's when it happens. That's when it slips through. There's no doubt that that's exactly what Cyclops are in right now. They're in some real sticky mud. And USG is coming for that championship.
I mean, could you imagine USG take the championship 2-0? That would be...
I couldn't an hour ago, but now I can.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat. Still, I'm still obviously skeptical, but that's just me. I'm always skeptical, so it's nothing new. Oh, no!
Rats!
No, no,
What
no, no. You
was
can't do
that? From Carwell! Step up onto the Japan Championship stage from the Japan Open Tournament. Face up against the best team in Japan from the last 2 years, the defending champions, and hip fire headshot across the map. All right, mate, whatever you say.
That might be one of the nastiest shots I have ever seen in this game. That was next level. I can't believe I just saw that. Anyway, we'll try and move on from that and compose ourselves a little bit here, just like Cyclops need to. Anderson gets the entry. Big flick there over towards Bar. Finds that kill and will drop the cap can. Kawau though, he's the next in line. Can he find this pick onto Gatorada? The answer is no, he whiffs that shot. Forced back over towards Model, but he hasn't been taken down just yet. Cyclops, if they get this pick, get it back to a 4v3, then they'll be the ones that can show a bit more initiative.
I'm sure that Kawau is feeling like his trigger finger has been kissed by God at this point. Anderson trying to hunt him down. Surely can be able to see some prints at some point. But Kawau is there and ready to take the shot. Is Anderson watching? He is. And he takes down that cheeky little Roma. Now numbers advantage, but Pero has been a thorn in the side of CAG. Anderson for the pre-fire. Black Ray now finished off. Just DD and Akayu left for USG to hold on. It started so strong. Akayu's falling back. Maybe trying to leverage the Evil Eyes in the late round. Oh, DD saved by the air jab. And now that plant is going down, and the Evil Eye can surely deny. Not enough. And now Gatorada and Suzu can hold in the post plant. DD and Akayu trying to retake. But that timer is going to be their biggest enemy. Gatorada trying to cover the brick store. And he, just lands the shot. Thank God for that. Akayu, the last one in the 1-on-2, knows exactly where Gatorada is. The pre-fire's going to get him. Suzu in the 1-on-1's got to defend. There's just no time left, and Akayu's going to have to stick this. Really has no options at this point. Got to get the kill. He doesn't. Suzu. CAG take a sigh of relief, and they regain the lead on their map pick.
Another mind-bending round here on Villa. It started off so well for USG. They doubled down on their aggression, particularly against that map sweep. But Cyclops, they stepped up to the occasion. They found those kills. They got their way in towards site. And even under so much pressure in the 2v2, able to get that diffuser on the ground. Even in the 1v1 as well. Another layer of composure reveals itself. Very well played there by Cyclops. And it's starting to turn into a bit of a war of attrition at the moment, honestly. Like, both teams, both rosters at certain periods of time throughout this series are just in terrible positions, but fighting really hard to bring rounds back.
Protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
CAG now going to be attacking the dining site. We've already seen USG win this bomb site. If you recall, it started with Pero and it finished with Pero. He was such a big impact. Playing the Vigil previously, now switched on to that Mozzie. Looking to deny even a little bit more info if possible. juggling these Evil Eyes, tossing up where to put them down. I think this is a really nice placement. That's not likely to get spotted.
5 seconds left.
This is actually the first round that Cyclops have brought hard breach all game. Oh no, sorry, they did bring one last round on Gator. But now this time they've got the hard breach and the Thatcher. Oh, what is this?
Was that? Did he
That
boost
was
onto the van?
Yeah, Carwow jumped outside, jumped on top of the van, and he was like so close. That was a millimeter off being a spawn peak. And Rento is keen to do one. He's actually heard the sound of the rappel up, and he wants to jump and do it.
Do it.
Oh, here we go. Oh,
Catarata read it. Like a book. Early man advantage now for Cyclops. In fact, that's the second opening kill Cyclops have found all game long.
now this was the objective that Cyclops did struggle a little bit to attack on the last occasion. They did bring in Vert, not doing that again. So, what's the game plan for them here? DD, close range, laundry, preventing that push with the FA12 in hand. So that's probably not going to be very viable. In this instance, I think, like most typically, the textbook way would be a map sweep across from living, but Cyclops not committing to that again. They want to go above. They do have breaching charges still in hands of Anderton. Suzu exchanging his out for Claymore. But there is a hold up above here. What can USG do to defy the odds here? Maybe get this round back. But okay, 2 picks elsewhere. Again, one of those DD and laundry. This is not the place to be pushing CAG.
Pero got droned out, but didn't get taken down. Been a menace on the roam and does find his second pick of the round. This dining kitchen seems to be Pero's bomb site. Finally traded 2 on 3. DD's very separated, but perhaps CAG are actually lacking in enough explosives to adequately reveal his position, deal with him. They could get Vert if they knew. DD does fall back. DD's actually got a real chance of winning fights through the Vert here with this shotgun. And especially if it comes down to holding those close angles and swinging that door into laundry, I would absolutely back DD to win that.
EMP over towards laundry wall. Suzu can now use his last rounding style mod to create a line of sight, but I mean, honestly, that might make things a little bit even more difficult to enter that position. May well be used for a distraction. Now, DD's actually positioned himself over towards bike, so... or not bike, rather, the jump in, so... See what maybe he can achieve from there, but there's only 30 seconds left, and USG are in the perfect position to just play time here, play patient, don't give it away anything for free, and the round will just land on their lap.
Ooh, DD, oh, Carwow was there, ready to pounce on the contact. Now CAG put all their hopes on Suzu, but that is not happening whatsoever. An even half as USG managed to run away with 3 defenses on CAG's map pick, and they are absolutely chuffed.
Yeah, and that was the concern, right? On that particular site, USG did a great job in holding it down last time, and Cyclops looked a little bit lost, and once more, just, I don't rate their macro play on the attack there. They're not bringing the right operators for that sort of push they want to go for, and then once DD was revealed inside the laundry, they insisted on pushing against the FA12, and yes, it's on land, so a little bit different to maybe online, but it's still going to be very difficult to push, and DD gave us a clinic as to why that's the case. So unfortunate there for Cyclops. They'll need to tidy up that site potentially in an OT instance if USG want to bring it out again, but of course, halftime, we'll switch sides, then we can see what the teams are made of on their opposite ends of the spectrum. Cyclops over towards the defense and start things off on Aviator Games.
It's hard to say who's favored out of that half, because statistically in the Japan Championship, Villa is actually one of, if not the most defender-sided map at 61.3%, just behind Bank at 61.5%. So you would expect a 4-2 half for the defense, right? Well, the thing is, USG, their stats kind of back that up. They have about 56% win rate on their defense, but Cyclops have a very unusual 61% attack round win rate on this map specifically, which means that Cyclops would probably be more likely aiming for a 4-2 on their attacks, even a 3-3. So while this looks pretty bad for USG, I feel like this is kind of run-of-the-mill. It is going to come down, though, to their attacks and to CAG's defenses. For me, if you put all the stats aside for a minute, I think that USG just have so much confidence right now, and I think that is absolutely going to be their greatest asset against CAG. CAG need to make sure not to get rattled. This is a bit of mental warfare at the moment.
USG are not afraid to play heavily into grenades. We have seen that so far this afternoon,
Attackers
and
have
Villa,
located a bomb.
particularly in today's meta, is very, very conducive to their gameplay. So it's something that CYCLOPS, I'm sure, are probably going to be pretty aware of, and whether or not they actually invest manpower underneath objectives to prevent that, we'll have to wait and see. Only 2 to contend with these rounds, that might not be as difficult. Can Dallas raining out?
Uh-oh.
I think there's a push coming through from that. I don't know what DD is trying to achieve the Rotero, but...
Thought that he had an opening, I think, but didn't actually.
Just trying to open the barricade? Yeah, I don't know. Super weird.
You mentioned the grenades. Now I come to think of it, I don't think I have seen more vertical, like, thrown-up grenades onto the ceiling above in any esports event as much as I have here. Like, I feel like this is the most vertical grenade-heavy event of Rainbow Six I've ever casted.
Yeah. I wish we had the stats to back that up. I would agree, though. 100%.
I like the way that that Flores Rotero drone opened an actual rotate onto site, just an extra layer of pressure. CAG do feel that pressure now, and as it doesn't go to overextend, falls back as the drone spots him to play safely behind that shield. Those Flores Roteros haven't yet cleared this shield app, but no doubt that would be a high priority target.
And it seems aggressing over towards study door in the balcony, seeing if you can maybe find a pick outside. It's a tricky entry here for USG. They're very exposed, of course, to the objective itself. I don't really want to enter here haphazardly, but they're going to have to eventually. DD can swing and sweep across from the north, though. Here comes the push.
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
Black Ray to find the first one, just dancing around that rotate hole. And it's an overextends, though. That's such a key position for CAG to lose, playing that top main stairs. And that means that surely USG could rotate. Oh, DD had the flank, and it was going to be perfect, but it didn't end up being so. No, not at all. And now it looks like to be a bloodbath as the fights go back and forth, leaving just Rento remaining. Yeah, all right. Well, that's one way to do it.
Shooting with the Selma. I've never seen that. There's been a lot of firsts in this tournament. I will say I've seen a lot of stuff that I have never seen in my goddamn life.
If he had one-tapped that, it would have been so stylish. I'm kind of disappointed that he didn't, to be honest.
Yeah.
Operators, you have run out of time.
That's a new aim practice, I guess. Throw up the Selma into the air and one-tap.
A little bit disappointing there for USG. I think the main thing that stood out to me as being a downfall for them was just they didn't play into the Ying properly. There were a couple of occasions where you could hear the Candelas popping in the background, but there wasn't really much being done off the back of them. I would have liked to have seen maybe site disrupted and top brown and actually then use that as the window of opportunity to get control inside of study, because they just were kind of standing outside waiting the entire round. And eventually they had to push. The clock pressured them into doing so, and yeah, very comfortable for CYCLOPS to deny that. Even with some pressure elsewhere on the other side of the map and bot brown, it wasn't quite enough to click there for USG. So yeah, a good start for CYCLOPS. They can find a bit of comfort now in the defense, hopefully.
Attackers need to locate and defuse.
Certainly going to need to run away with this map, push to map 3. Crazy to think that we're talking about CYCLOPS being the team that needs to push to map 3. But I guess Chalet was USG's map pick. We can't dwell too much on the past. I know certainly CYCLOPS couldn't be thinking about it right now. They couldn't be thinking about the pressure that's on them, about the missed opportunities that they had on Chalet. They've just got to be satisfied with that strike rate of 3 attack rounds 1 and focusing on nailing some defenses. Really, the onus is back onto USG here. Historically, they haven't had the greatest attacks on this map. In fact, it was the only map where USG have a lower than 50% win rate on their attack is Villa at only 43%, which is still not terrible considering that on average, there's only like a 40% win rate on, just under 40% win rate in fact, win rate for attack on Villa. So USG should be just focusing on one round at a time. That's nice.
This is something from DD. I mean, I don't really know where else you'd want to play Maverick on this site. Like, I'm trying to think. And
Oh my god, imagine!
Oh, that
Oh,
was
they
so
scanned
close.
him with the pulse! They
Yeah.
knew what he was doing because of the pulse scanner. That is so cheeky.
Oh, well, that puts an end to that. Elsewhere, Kawau. Flash is being sent into sheets. A-Gator blind. I don't think they're really going to be play off that though. And yep, A-Gator can escape. Could swing red out to the window and find a kill. And on the topic of kills, Anton Elsewhere does find one. That's Pero taken down. Yana off the board. No nades now available for the attack outside of DD, who of course himself is also critically low as well.
Not really sure what the idea here is for Donuts USG. They haven't really made a lot of headway. They haven't taken a lot of ground. Typically, we talk about the need to take vert control, and while they have finally found a pick, haven't necessarily set themselves up strongly for that, and time's ticking away. Like, there's only point in going for vert control if you actually have time to act upon it. Info in sight, CAG punish that, take out that drone, strip that away, but Carwow looks like he's found another one in there. Might be looking to exploit any opening.
$50 seconds now remaining in this round.
Attackers have located a bomb.
What opening can USG find here? Someone on the left needs to find something. Now there's a defender inside the closet. I believe it's going to right. Ren spots the shoulder, doesn't find the kill eventually, but needs to commit to the kill. Misses the second shot as well. It's falling apart here a little bit here for USG. Ren knows he needs to commit to this peak, but maybe he's going to be forced elsewhere. The clock applying a lot of pressure now, 25 left on the board.
Yeah, but I guess Gatorada is... Oh, never mind. Gatorada has somehow managed to find a pick before being traded back. CAG are in a strong position, but there's still 3 players up for USG, and there's a serious plant opportunity here. Akayu just needs to force this down, and there it is. Anderson has been down. No Yokai's in play. I think USG have got this. Black Ray to find one. Suzu to flank from the laundry hatch, but Rento circles back and finishes him off. Black Ray's going to try and pick up Anderson, make this a 2-on-2. But it might not be possible here. In fact, he's going to bypass that. He says that's not happening. He can see the gun barrel. He can see where Akayu is hiding. But Akayu's not going to give him the chance. He really wants to res Anderson, but he just knows it's not going to happen. He knows there's no way. And Akayu can just sneakily ninja hide behind. What a round from Rento. Once again, we are back at an even scoreline. 4 rounds each on Villa.
I really like that plant position from Akayu. Again, I don't know about you, Dave. I have never seen that before either. Smacking the chair and able to get into that little crevice, get the plant down. Now, it doesn't completely cover you as the barrel is exposed, but I mean, as you can see, it's obviously tricky to spot, and I don't think CYCLOPS were expecting that at all. So, a good round for USG to get on the board. Clearly, the tertiary site for CYCLOPS, not all that strong. And USG able to break down that defense.
Concerning for CYCLOPS. While that is, in theory, their tertiary site, they haven't gone and won Stat Trophy as of yet. In fact, that trophy, I believe it was you mentioned earlier, or was it Xenox mentioned that statistically the weakest site on this map in Japan League or Japan Championship. The stats within this game prove that. CYCLOPS won 2 out of 2 attacks on the Stat Trophy. USG unable to find a single defense earlier in the first half. But now CAG is going to give it a crack anyway. The stats don't really support them though.
Oh, and it just starts to heat up, doesn't it? Just when this match doesn't feel like it can reach another level, it seems to be able to do that.
10 seconds left before insertion.
Pulse once again here in play from CYCLOPS. We did see that net some pretty valuable intel in the previous round for CAG, but unfortunately they weren't able to necessarily act upon it in the most effective of manners. So that's something we'll keep our eyes on here. Mozzie as well on the board to prevent counterintelligence from the attack. But I mean, with Yana on the board, shouldn't be the most difficult thing to navigate around. Flores in play. Rotero's already being sent up Astro stairs here very early from DD, maybe trying to sneak some early utility, but the first of those drones shot out by Suzu, and I think maybe actually the goal was to open the desk there, right? So you can't hold Astro, but yeah, Suzu doing a great job to deny it.
Once again, Perez here. Surely at this point,
Attackers have located a bomb.
CAG are aware that Perry likes to hold that early rotation and could find a really cheeky early pick. Oh, Gatorada's got some info on a player standing outside there. Hello, that's a Rotero. Not really going to be impactful there. Gatorada starts to scan again. The player has gone. Like magic, disappeared into thin air.
Yeah, where did he go? I went down the stairs, okay.
Yeah.
That confused me for a second. I was like, what?
There's a logic bomb. Anderson trying to find this player lurking downstairs.
Garrett is still holding this position, looking to create his own rotation by knocking out the bottom left of that wooden panel, but again, another stalemate halfway into this round. Who's going to be the first to move? Who's going to be the first to make a mistake?
Yeah, no real engagements. I mean, it really just looks like these teams are both kind of setting up strong positions and not over... Ooh, hello. Black Ray. Surely you got to be suspicious there. He's been holding this angle for the whole round. For 2 whole minutes, Pero sat there waiting patiently. Eventually, it did pay off. Too predictable, Black Ray. But Cyclops do find DD and another one now. Pero finally refragged. Certainly... While they found the opening pick, USG, they haven't really got a proper push going.
50 seconds left. Caillou able to vault in towards bathroom as they look to progress over towards Astro. He's just going to send it straight in. He's confident. He is confident to find that pick. The trade is not there from Aya Gator. Aya Gator has failed in hitting that trade. 2 versus 2 now.
Just Rento and Carwow. That diffuser is down in sight. Carwow is just waiting for a player to rotate back up. It's actually Rento's teammate. No, that he's going to go over to red stairs. So there's a player ready and waiting for him. In fact, both of these guys from CAG are on this side, so Rento shouldn't be able to make this work. And especially now, not when the Grizmot is going to reveal his position. Now a 1v2 for Carwow. Also Grizmotted. Anderson to take him down. That's Cyclops once again taking the lead. This has just been back and forth for the last 5 or 6 rounds. These teams have been neck and neck.
Yeah, that was a strange one. It felt like for the most part, USG was actually with the advantage. They found some pretty gnarly picks off site, but then their entry in towards Astro, I think, was probably a little bit miscalculated. They, I don't know. I just don't know where the reinforcements there were for USG. Then diffuser also wasn't collected, so bit of a weird one. But of course, Cyclops, they did well, able to tick that objective off the rotation. Scoreline now 5-4. If they can edge that match point, I think that's going to put a lot of pressure on USG, who up until this point haven't really probably felt it all that much.
And you think that Aviator Games is back on the agenda now for Cyclops, as it's been unlocked. It's been 2 rounds since. Nope, never mind me. It wouldn't be a match of Villa here in the Japan Championship if it wasn't for at least one living library defense. I love that from CAG, but earlier today, we saw a living library defense that did not pan out so well for the defenders. This is a bit of a risk here for Cyclops. They could go back to the known quantity where they already won, but instead they're going to go do the round the world tour, go to the 4th bomb site on this map.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds.
This is a
left.
library defense, by the way. Just
That's what I just said, mate. That's what I've been talking about for the last
Attackers' objective is to
like
locate a bomb
30
and
seconds,
defuse
mate.
it.
Yeah, sometimes when you're casting,
You're
just
right,
completely
bro.
zoned out.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe you don't. Maybe you're more professional than me. I do it all the time. So.
yeah. Sometimes
You can
it
only get
seems
away
like
with that as color. I say most of the time you can get away with it. So.
yeah. Sometimes
one
it
thing-
seems
did
like
you
this player's
touch on-
zoning
did-
out.
Yeah, did you talk about the warden?
No, I didn't. So
Okay,
go
well, we can
for
talk
it,
about that. Black Ray picking the warden. Now, you would expect that normally to be in response to a Ying pick, for instance. And I don't think there's necessarily going to be, there's not going to be any smokes available here for
Bomb
the
located
attack.
by
So
attackers.
on a utility sense, in a sense of utility, not going to be all that useful outside of maybe
Attackers have
countering a
located
couple
a
of
bomb.
flashes on the board. But you do have a deployable shield you can play into, add that with Gatorada's bulletproof utility alongside Anaton as well, and you know, you've got a bit of a headache in chewing A-Gator as well with Evil Eyes, so we'll have to see how that plays out. In terms of positioning and setup itself, extension up above, lines of sight, and vault down below, that's pretty on meta, so I would assume this is something USG have tried to target before, something they've played against in scrims and maybe even officials, so we'll have to see what they're made of here, trying to fight against that match point.
Reloading.
Oh, that's a cheeky little entrance. You can see that USG have actually made a lot of headway, a lot of progress. These walls unreinforced into sight. Both could well be breached here, adding extra avenues for USG. Is this wall 90 wall reinforced? It's got to be, surely.
I would hope so.
Gator is right around the corner here from that sneaky little DD, and indeed it is. Zuzu's job, as well as Anaton's, is to protect Gator rather, who is the core player in this defense with these vertical lines. Wait a second, has Akayu just snuck into the plant spot that you can't deny from above? He has, but then he moved! Oh no, this is really risky. Now he goes back into that plant spot, and he might be able to force it down.
50 seconds left, and the diffuser is confirmed. Now it's retake for CAG. Black Ray over towards the hatch, looking to drop, looking to swing. Can't win that fight. Now Suzu and A-Gator left in the 2v4. This is a very, very challenging position to bring back. Suzu does get one towards red, swings the long corridor and can't win that engagement long range. Now it's up to A-Gator, probably forced over towards Brown. I mean, at this point in time, he knows that the round's basically over. Donuts able to prevent Cyclops from capturing match point. A huge round from them and a big attack on the board.
USG, fantastic reply from them. You can see that Cyclops had a clear idea of how to hold on, had a clear idea of the plant denial, but plant denial was not good enough. USG, instead of focusing on hard clearing those players up top, they just dedicated to forcing that diffuser down in a position that was safe from Gator above on the vertical angles. There are very few plant spots in that room where you can't be vulnerable to above. USG just went for that, and that was kind of like their whole strat. It's like, let's just go and try and plant, try and cover, real simple. Helps that they had a couple picks to begin with as well. We're at what I like to call break point now. 5-5. It's crazy to think that USG could in 2 rounds be the Japanese champion.
Do you start to believe at this point?
I've been believing for the last 40 minutes.
Still, it's quite surreal, honestly. It's a bit of a, it feels like a fairy tale that we're living through at the moment, but maybe it is on the cards. You just never know. AVG, though, does pose a threat to USG. Cyclops went in round number 7, and USG were completely stalled out. Study balcony was the bane of their existence. They couldn't get in towards Study, they couldn't get a foothold. The aggressive setup from Cyclops, the lines of sight created from within Aviator itself made it so challenging for them. So USG, there's 2 things they need to do either in this round, right? Find a better way of getting ground control quickly, get inside Study and mount something, or they just go for the map sweep. Now, they have, I was going to say they've spawned over towards the north, but it's a split spawn, so I don't know which approach they're going to go for. Either way, it's going to be pretty tough.
I mean, there's no doubt that Cyclops should be favored here on Aviator Games. This was the bomb site that they won to start off this defensive half, and it was the risky choice from Cyclops to go Living Library instead last round. I really feel like Cyclops just should have pushed through here last round, tried to just prioritize securing that match point, then go Living Library. But instead now they find themselves in a position where there's that extra pressure on, knowing that it could be a series point championship point against them if they can't hold on here on Aviator. Once again, we see USG moving in, ready to make some vertical, ready to start using these nades to the best of their ability.
120 seconds available in this action phase. USG again yet to really mount much, yet to clear these key positions. Brown still being held. No real map clear attended to either, so it's echoing USG's failed attempts in round number 7. Something needs to change, and it needs to change quickly. As I've said that sentence, almost another minute has passed. And it's not looking great here. Nades from below, maybe that'll be the game changer.
Just needs to be info here to back these up. These no info nades are risky. You're just basically hoping that the timing serves you well. CAG are constantly moving around. If there's any element missing from this attack from USG, it's just that second prong to the push. Because those nades, I mean, essentially blind. You're really just, it's a Hail Mary thrown out. Still 5 players alive for Cyclops. They're not looking to give any advantage. They just want to hold on, and that's the right choice.
Perro really needs to win this engagement over towards Brown. Now there's holes that expose him to the backside. The rest of USG mounting the attack. The rotations come through, and it's about to go bang.
Wow, it indeed does go bang. A C4 from AEG. It's Carwow who goes down first. But that means the top Brown position was exposed until Gatorada filled that gap. An aggressive play now from Ayagata as USG have really no choices but to send it. Oh, that shot does not connect. It ends in a flawless. Match point now. With the potential to send it to map 3, Cyclops have found their mojo. But this has been back and forth for so many rounds. 8 rounds in a row. They need to break that trend here to push us to map 3.
USG just failing to switch up their attack enough there. They didn't innovate, they didn't improve upon their round 7 attempt, and it played out similarly. They got stalled out over towards Study. Brown Stairs was still held with under a minute to go in that round, and you're just not really going to get inroads in towards the objective by playing that way. So I think that has probably played out the way at least I probably anticipated, but that does not rule out USG in the upcoming rounds. Now, there's probably 2 sites. It's gonna be kitchen, right? Surely at this
Well,
point.
they could go stat.
Yeah, it could
they
be stat.
actually
Yeah.
won stat. But they're going
Oh no, they
kitchen,
do
which
go
is
kitchen.
really strange to me. Like, why not go stat trophy? That is where they won. Instead, they're going kitchen where they lost. And they planned it against them.
Ready.
Yeah, I misspoke. I was meant to say a stat trophy, so I'm not going to pretend to sit here like a genius and call the library. Call the kitchen defense, because yeah, it is a little bit peculiar. We saw USG go for that cheeky plant over towards the chairs to the western side of dining on that last attempt, and Cyclops were completely cut off from reattempting or retaking rather that objective. So. Whew. I think the stage has been set for a very, very enthralling final round of regulation here.
Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
Yeah, it really does feel like USG has a serious shot here to push it. I would love to know what the thought process is for CAG, the CAG, to go back to kitchen dining. Seems like such a risky play on the back of losing it before. Oh, nice shot in the Twitch drone there. Doesn't let Rento get away with it intact. For CAG, they found the opening pick last time. They looked like they had everything, but it didn't matter. USG still forced that plant down. Who's to say USG can't do it again?
Let's see who's nearby.
Dockerby calls rain out. Perro on the low entry, so it's looking like a horizontal take here. Library and living across here for USG. Black Ray is the first player that will engage against this push. There have been some reinforcements placed as well as some prismers to try and prevent this from being free real estate, but free real estate it is. DD with the opening pick.
What a well-placed flash as well. Completely blinded Black Ray, and they followed through. Concern here for CAG. Find themselves 1 man down. They have the match point within their grasp. They're fully capable of sending us to map 3. Donuts USG are relentless, and they will not go down without a fight. They would love to take it in 2. That would be unbelievable. No one would have called it. No one would have expected USG could take this championship, let alone in a 2-0. But if they keep this up, we're going to overtime.
Doesn't look like USG are too keen on taking control up above, so they'll need to find ways to apply that pressure elsewhere. The likes of A-Gator might find themselves under pressure from Laundry, for example, but that all has been muted off. That said, of course, one and only hard breach that is on the board can negate that, being the Maverick. 50 seconds though, so whatever USG want to commit to, they need to start doing it quickly. Again, Gatorado, of course, pretty free control above because no one from the attack is contesting that. But what are USG doing? It looks like they've stalled out a little bit here in the mid phase of this round, and CYCLOPS have been able to reposition themselves in anticipation for the final shove.
Oh, Suzu. There was a read that there was a player, but there was in fact not. Gator though might have the angle here, and he does. DD goes down, numbers advantage for CAG, looking to push this to map 3. As USG have a couple of chances here to get it done. They can even up the man count. Pero's the man of the hour. Insight wants to refrag. Oh, can't land enough shots. Gatorada. It looks like CAG are gonna make it this series a 3-mapper. Cafe is on the agenda.
CYCLOPS, they win their map pick. It was a little bit uncomfortable. Probably not the greatest game of Villa they've ever played, but it was enough to get them over the line, push that third map. And as we sort of said in the pre-show, right, if it goes to the third, if it goes to Cafe, at least for me, I am so scared for USG. The way they played it this afternoon is not going to work against CYCLOPS. That said, they have actually shown a lot of structure, weirdly enough, in this matchup, so maybe that was just a one-off occurrence. I'm not too sure. But it sets us up for an exciting last map. And logic is telling me to back CYCLOPS here, but USG have been playing really well, so I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the show, I think.
Well, one thing we know for sure is that Villa was back and forth constantly. CYCLOPS finally broke that spell to close it out on the final round. USG did amazing to already win one map, but this championship is going to need the last decider to settle who is going to be the Japan champion. We're going to a quick break. In 10 minutes, we're going to find out with map number 3, so don't go anywhere.